Hi guys, in this video I want to talk to you about how accurate is my 4-jaw chuck. If you watched my previous videos, which I certainly hope you did, you would have seen me making this back plate for this particular 4-jaw, and we've finished that now, and we've had the 4-jaw on it. It fits very nicely, and what I want to do now is explore the accuracy of this Chinese chuck. So before I mount the chuck on the back plate, I'll just zoom in and show you that the back plate is running accurately. Then we'll mount the 4-jaw, and I'll talk to you about what I want to measure and how I intend to determine whether this Chinese chuck is worth what I paid for it. Right, so I've got a Mitutoyo DTO on the faceplate. This is a 2 micron DTO, so one of the minor divisions, and I hope you can see those minor divisions. One minor division is 0.002 of a millimetre, which is 0.03 of a thou. And as you can see, we are within 1 micron there, which is a millionth of a metre. So that's pretty good, much better than the chuck that I'm going to mount it on. So let's get the chuck mounted. Some reference marks punched on the chuck so that I can get it in the same place each time. Two. Right, now what I'm going to do is put a spanner on one of the jaws to get them tight. Right, so I've got a spanner on the jaw, a wooden block against the bed, and not going silly about this, but they are fairly tight. Now, how good is a 4-jaw chuck? and as you can see, I've been having a bit of a play here. I've numbered the jaws just randomly, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've numbered the positions. I mean, with a 3-jaw chuck, we're mainly concerned about the concentricity of a bar chucked in the jaws, and we're mainly concerned that the bar is on the centre line of the lathe. With a 4-jaw chuck, of course, we can move the jaws independently of each other, so we can get the bar on the centre line fairly easily. In fact, we can do it in 2 minutes, in fact 1 minute, if I believe what I saw on YouTube the other day with Keith. It takes me about 3 or 4. So yeah, we can get a bar on the centre line, but if we measure it here and it's dead on the centre line, what we're also concerned about is whether it's on the centre line out here. So if we have a bar that extends from the jaws by 8 or 10 inches, it might be true here but not true out here, and that of course is the parallelism of the jaws themselves. We're also concerned about this surface and that one and that one. We're also concerned about those surfaces, but we're concerned about those surfaces when we also turn the jaws around, which is not an issue that happens with a 3-jaw chuck, because with a 3-jaw chuck we can't turn the jaws around, we replace them with another set of jaws. So it's all very well getting that surface, for example, accurate when the jaws are in this way around, but when I turn the jaw around the other way, the surface may not be as good as it was in that orientation. So that is determined by the accuracy of the machining in the chuck itself. So I'll just whip this jaw out just to explain what I mean. So if this surface is accurate with the jaw in that orientation, it may not necessarily be accurate with the jaw in that orientation, and that depends on the accuracy of the machining of those surfaces there and these surfaces here on the jaws. So to make an accurate 4-jaw chuck is, I think, going to be a lot more difficult, or is a lot more difficult than a 3-jaw chuck. So the first thing I'm going to do, we've established that the back plate's true, so what I'm going to do now is take all the jaws out and just check to see whether the chuck itself is accurate on this face and on this face here. That'll give us an idea of how well the chuck is made, and then we'll put the jaws in and we'll chuck up a piece of bar here and we'll measure these surfaces. So take the jaws out. Now I don't hold high hopes for this chuck, because somebody, and I assume it's the manufacturer, has had a go at grinding that surface there, and it looks as though they ground it by holding it up against a linisher. So that's something that we are going to have to do at some stage later in the piece. It's probably not going to be too difficult, because I'll be able to grind that surface with a test piece in here and with the jaws mounted in the chuck. Well, that's the thought at the moment anyway. Right, so I'll have a look at these surfaces here and see how good or bad they are. Now I'm not going to use the micron indicator on that, because it would not tell us a great deal. I'm going to use a Mitutoyo 0.01mm per division. So 0.1 of a millimetre is 3 thou, so 0.01 is 0.39 of a thou, so we could say in round figures half a thousandths. Right, so 1 minor division here is just under half a thousandth. So we've got 19.5, 19.5, 19.5, 19.5. So that chuck, as best I can measure it with this indicator, is about 1/4 of a thousandth of an inch on that surface. So we'll come back out to the outside one, which is this one here. I'm reading the label there. Okay, so we're within 1 minor division on that surface all the way around, and 1 minor division is 0.4 of a thousandth. So, okay, it's nothing flash, but it's not too bad. Let's go into the inner surface. As you would expect, that's better. I can't see an error there at all, in fact, with this indicator. Probably would be able to with the other indicator, but I don't think it's going to tell us a great deal. Right, just for fun, let's have a look at this the outside surface of the chuck. And you're going to have to take my word for this, because you're not going to be able to see the indicator here. Right, so we've got an error here of about 4 minor divisions. Now that, of course, is going to depend on when I did these 4 bolts up that I get the chuck centre, and I could probably bump the chuck. So what have we got here? 4 divisions, 1.5 thousandths. So we're 1.5 thousandths high there, where the label is, compared with there. So yeah, I could probably bump the chuck to be bang on, but that's not really of interest, because we can take that out with the jaws. Right, so I've numbered the jaws randomly. I'm going to put the jaws in now and I'm going to chuck up a piece of accurate bar. I've had a look at all of the jaws and I've just given them a very light stone to make sure there's no burrs on the faces, and likewise on that running surface there. I'm not that impressed with these machined surfaces because they look a bit rural. If you'll excuse the term, but we'll see what it's like before I do any work on the jaws themselves. So let's get those jaws in, and then we'll have another measure. Okay, so just before I chuck up a piece of bar here, what I'm looking at here is whether I can rock the jaws clockwise and anti-clockwise in the slots, and this is going to give me an indication of just how well machined the chuck is to the jaw itself. So I can rock the jaw moving in and out quite a long way, of course, but if I just rock the jaw backwards and forwards, I'm seeing about 0.1 of a millimetre. In other words, 4 thousandths. 3.9 thousandths. Let's say 4. So I'm seeing about 4 thousandths in this direction, which is an indication of the sort of error I'm going to get when I change the jaws round from being an inside jaw to an outside jaw. Right, now I've got a piece of a test bar here somewhere, and I'm going to mount that and get it accurately centered on the axis of the lathe, if I can find my piece of test bar. Right, so I've got a 1/1000 dial gauge here. That's the high jaw there. Thou high there. About 3 thou. Still 3 thou. One and a half. Number 2. Half a thou high on number 2. Iron number 4. Number 4 still. Right, so I'm going to swap gauges now and get a more accurate indication. Simply, of course we can. Right, we're pretty good. This is 0.01 metric, so it's giving me about 0.4 of a thousandth indication. That's the high jaw there. Right, so that's the high jaw there. Number 4. Number 3 is half a thou high. Right, that is immeasurable at that end, so now I want to go to this end. Right, I'm just going to move the camera in so you can see this. We've got, that's the best that I can give you, and we've got about 18 minor divisions there, and the high jaw is number 1. And I've marked the jaws and the positions. 1, 2, jaw 3, position 3, jaw 4 and position 4. Right, so what we've got here is that it's high just there. So I'll mark that. So it's high there. So either number 1 jaw is low internally, or number 3 jaw is proud. So what I'm going to do now is repeat the process, swap number 1 and number 3, and that will, and if the error stays with the chuck, then the chuck is the problem. If the error moves with the jaws, then the jaw is the problem. So I'll do that off camera because you don't want to see me fumbling with a 4 jaw again, but we'll get it set up to the same order of accuracy as we did before, and I will leave the bar in the same position relative to the chuck.